Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Let's Try Shards of Infinity. Shards of Infinity is a digital adaptation of a real-life deck-building card game. One of my favorite genres there is. If you're familiar with things like Dominion and Star Realms and so on and so forth, you will find Shards of Infinity fairly comfortable, especially Star Realms. This is very similar to that. The digital version of this is in beta. It doesn't even go into early access for another 4 weeks, so this is quite early on in development still. Keep in mind there could be, various bugs and various things like that in this video. I actually have experienced a crash. In addition to that, currently online play is not enabled, and the only AI available currently is easy. They're still training up the other AI, so this is going to be a very early example of the game here. It is going to be available for mobile as well as here on Steam. The UI is definitely very mobile centric. All the buttons are just huge and everything like that, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me really for a card game like this because it's a pretty good fit for it. So unlike Star Realms, again, this is very similar to that. You can actually play up against 4 opponents over here in the digital version, which is kind of nice. I mean, in real life, you can play Star Realms against multiple people if you want. We'll go ahead. We'll do 3 opponents just to sort of mid-ground it. And again, the only AI available currently is the easy AI. They're training it up with a neural network to try to teach it how to play. All right, if you've never seen a deck-building card game before, here's the basic gist of it. Every player starts with a deck of 10 cards. They're all identical, and the cards, generally speaking, either give you money, which in this game here is represented by these crystals. So each one of these crystals, if I play one, I will have 1 money to spend to purchase cards, and some cards will give you attack, like the blaster over here will give me +1 damage, which I can use to attack my opponents. All of us start with 50 hit points. The game ends when everyone else is dead. Although one of the unique things about this card game is that there is another trait that you can accrue called Mastery. Mastery by itself doesn't do anything, but certain cards, for example the Shard Reactor here, will behave differently as you reach higher Mastery levels. So the Shard Reactor gives me 2 money, 2 crystals, but if I have 5 Mastery, I'll gain 3 instead. If I have 15, I'll gain 4 instead. So Mastery powers up many of the cards in the game. So you can play them one at a time. Sometimes there might be an order that you want to play the cards in. Generally speaking, you can safely hit this play all button. So all the cards go down. We currently have 5 money and 1 attack that we can use on our opponents. So our deck of initial 10 cards, again, it's the same for every player. But then what you can do is you can buy cards from the middle over here. There's always going to be 6 cards for us to buy. If we buy one, it gets immediately replaced, and these cards get added into your deck. Now, you don't necessarily want to buy just any card that you can buy. Generally speaking, you want to buy cards that strengthen your deck. Early on, almost any card is going to do that, but later on, you might be looking to build around certain combos and various things like that. The one thing that's different about this game as well, each one of us are represented by a character. I'm playing as Tetra over here. All of the starting sort of characters that represent yourself are identical, different art, but otherwise I think they're functionally identical. And one of the things that you can do with your personal character is you can pay 1 crystal, 1 money, and exhaust. That means to simply tap this card, so you can only do it once per turn, to gain a mastery. So I can spend $1 to gain 1 mastery should I like to do that. The cards here will be referred to as either allies, ally cards. All these were ally cards, for example. You just play them, they have an effect, and then at the end of your turn, they get discarded. If at any point you need to draw cards and you don't have enough in your deck, then you shuffle up your discard pile and draw from there as well. Any cards that you buy do go into your discard pile, but you'll see them later on. The other type of card you might see is a champion. A champion, when you play it, actually stays in play. It shows up down here along with your main character card. And so they stick around. They tend to have abilities like this, like exhaust. So once per turn, I can do a thing with this drone here. So it sticks around until it gets killed. This card has 5 hit points. So instead of attacking me, my opponents could attack my champion instead. But the damage doesn't stick around. So they'd have to do 5 damage in a single round to be able to take out the Numerary drones, at which point it goes into my discard pile. So again, I can draw it again. Mercenaries are a little bit different. They are an ally card where instead of buying them and adding them to your deck, you can buy them and have them go into play instantly, but then they get removed from the game afterwards. They don't go into your discard pile at that. So if you want, you can one-shot a mercenary, which is kind of an interesting way to spend money on something that doesn't get added to your deck. So for example, if it doesn't synergize, but you got a couple extra bucks, you might be like, well, I'll just go ahead and one-shot this mercenary to do some extra damage or something this round. There are 4 factions of cards that you can get. We're only seeing 2 factions in play currently, the Wraith and the Homodius. So the Homodius are very like sort of mechanized, sort of drone type things. And the Wraith are, I don't know what their theme is, you know, maybe some sort of Sonic Warriors or something like that, but there's a lot of like sort of death manipulation kind of mechanics. They look at your discard pile and various things in here. So this Wraith Skirmisher does a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage if there's another Wraith card in my discard pile. Early on, I do tend to like to go for some economy, but the Wraith stuff is pretty funky cool. That's a lot of damage. If I was playing only against one opponent, I might focus on damage early on just to try to wipe him out early. But with 2, it's going to be hard for me to kill both of them with a weak economy. So we might go ahead and pick up the Homodius stuff. So we got a champion here that gives us money. And also, when we use this ability, put the next Homodius champion you recruit in this turn directly into play, which could be kind of cool. So we'll grab that, and we'll grab the mining drones over here. It just gives me 1 money and draws a card, which isn't bad. There you go. There's another faction here, the Undergrowth Ally, and then the Order over here. So Orders are sort of, again, maybe some sort of Psionic monks, and then the Undergrowth are pretty nature-oriented, as you might think. But damage, if we only had 1 player, all the damage would be assigned to here, but here we get to choose where to assign the damage. We can split it up if we want. Anyway, we want, I mean, here I only have 1 point of damage, so it's kind of moot, but I'll go ahead and just do a damage to easy AI 2. Ha! Alright, so my opponents are going to take a turn. They're playing their cards, they're buying some stuff. Ooh, Easy AI 1 decided to do the damage to Easy AI 2. I don't know how the AI prefers to apply the damage. They might target whoever's weakest, in which case it's going to be important to keep one of them lower than me. That's possible. The Infinity Shard is kind of cool. This sort of represents a second win condition. I mean, really you win by killing everyone, but you can, if you get to 30 mastery, you can see here Infinity Shard does infinity damage if you reach 30 in mastery. So a viable strategy could be generate as much mastery as you can, play Infinity Shard, win. So we'll go ahead and just play everything right now. With 4 bucks, I could get the Ether Breaker, either way. What have I picked? All right, oh yeah, I had the robot people in my discard pile here. The Data Heretic is interesting. Again, I don't have to add him to my deck, although maybe I will. I mean, he doesn't do anything by itself, but the card draw is pretty cool. And again, I'm not going to focus on the attack right now. So yeah, I'll pick you up, and because he's a mercenary, I can mercenary him or buy him. I will buy him, and with the extra $1, I will use my built-in ability to give myself a point of mastery. We'll do this. I will focus all the damage on Easy AI 2, just to make sure he stays lower than me, because if the AIs like to target whoever's lower, we're going to see here, he's going to do 6 damage. Yeah, he puts it all on there. Good. Okay, so we're sort of manipulating the AI there to avoid attacking us. Easy AI 2 did hit us, but right now we're still good. We have a handful of just crystals, so that's 5 bucks. Could get the Scion of Nothingness here. Again, these work well if they've got extra Wraith cards. Some of the Wraiths, like this only kicks in if we've got 10 mastery, but a lot of the Wraith cards let you banish cards, so that's removed from the game. So this lets you thin your deck. These are really powerful effects. Although with this guy here, actually, he might be worth grabbing. 4 attack, generates mastery, and later on he's got a very powerful effect there. What else would I do? Well, I mean, I suppose I could just mastery one or mercenary one of these guys instead of adding it. So Unify here triggers if you've played or have another Undergrowth ally in your turn. So you'll see Unify, so you've got these echoes, which based on your discard. Unify, which is based on basically what's on your hand. And there's another one called Dominion, which is similar to Unify, but it actually triggers if you have the 3 other factions in your hand or in play. So you can do a mixed deck here, which is something that you can't really do in Star Realms, which is kind of interesting. None of these really float my boat. I think I will grab Azara Ra over here. I will buy her. I don't know. Him? It's hard to say. Yeah, maybe we'll try to get up to 10 mastery and then use... Let's go with her to trim our deck down. That wouldn't be too shabby. Now, the easy AI there was just attacked and took no damage. I can't really show you why that happened because I don't have a card in play, but some of the cards have a little shield right around here. And the way that works is if you're supposed to take damage, you can reveal the card with the shield in your hand and it blocks that much damage. It doesn't use up the card or anything like that. It's kind of cool. So we'll play everything. So the Numeri drones our champion, so I can exhaust. It'll give me a buck, and if I buy another Homodius champion, it puts it directly into play over here. I don't have one. The only card I can find to buy is the Lachey Knights, and that's really not going to synergize with anything. I could go in Mercenary for damage, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Tetra's ability here to give me a mastery, and then I can't afford anything with the 2 remaining money, unfortunately. This is just showing me my buff that the next Homodius champion I buy goes directly into play. Here, we'll just keep piling on this one guy, since that's the way the AI seems to work. So we'll try to avoid taking any damage from easy AI1. He's using his abilities, he's buying a bunch of stuff. Oh, he did split his attacks there. Okay, he might change his play a little bit. Interesting. Alright, we'll start with you. Gain 1, draw a card. Then we'll play you, draw a couple of cards. Alright, we'll clearly play you. Nothing else matters for order, so we'll just play all over here. 7 money, 3 attack. I can use my ability as well. Zenshi Set Godkiller. Exhaust, gain 3 attack, and return a Wraith card from your discard pile to your hand. That's really cool. Really cool. Wraith card, but I mean, we don't really have Wraith stuff going on. Destroy all enemy champions. And the champions are like these guys. If you played another Undergrowth ally, I don't know. I guess I'm going to go for the card draw. I think our money's more or less going to go to waste here. So I'm going to buy you. I'm going to use Tetra's ability. Oh, when you play this, draw a card, and then Dominion. Oh, if you've played one of everything, he's got another ability to gain a ton of mastery. That is a ton of mastery. Let's say if I had an extra buck, I could like mercenary one of these guys. And he's a... You know what? We'll buy him. We'll see. Alright, end turn. Yeah, I'll start spreading the damage out at this point. Who cares? Oh, he's got armor. It does remind you, like, so he revealed an armor card. See, this AI triggered him anyway, which he shouldn't have. But it's great. If easy AI1 attacks him and reveals that he's got armor, then I will know not to attack him. But now he's played his card, so we don't know what's going on. Order's not going to matter here. We can spend $4. It'd be nice to use Tetra's ability here, but then we really couldn't buy anything. Copy the effect of a non-champion card you have played this turn. Copy the effect an additional time. Good, just Mercenary. You know, it's a one-shot, but then it doesn't add stuff to my deck that maybe isn't that useful. Although, if we want to use the Dominion ability, we sorta... And that is a pretty powerful Dominion ability. We will need to introduce some green. Alright, I'm gonna buy you. We're gonna go for a Dominion-oriented deck. That's fine. A little bit of everything. Oh, they both have armor. They've been grabbing a lot of armor cards. They're gonna be a little tougher to kill. Although, if this is his only armor card, I might want to make sure to pile max damage on Easy Eye to go past his armor. So still be able to block some, but not all. Play you first, because you'll draw a card. Okay, nothing that's going to change the order of play then. With $6... I kind of want the Umbral Scourge. Gain the Mastery and letting us banish some cards. I'm going to buy you. More mastery, yes. I will buy you, actually. And if I had money left over, I would use this. But we have a lot of mastery gain, which is nice here. Let's put it on you. Because I think Easy A has got... number 2 has got at least 2, if not 3 shield cards. So we don't quite have Dominion here. Although if we... With our draw, we see more of our deck. And with the ability to remove some of our stuff... from our deck, we will potentially more likely see more stuff. Which is kind of nice. Alright, you can just play the rest. Order doesn't matter anymore. For money, it would be nice to use Tetra's ability, but there's nothing that costs 3. If an Inspire, an enemy player loses 2 mastery if you have a champion in play. It's kind of nice. You know what? I think I'm just going to Mercenary him. Rather than add him to my deck. Oh, choose an opponent. I choose you to lose mastery. How do I choose you? Okay. Well, folks, I guess we're gonna wrap this up here. Again, this is 4 weeks away from early access. Bit of a shame, unfortunately. But this is just a Let's Try as a sample. We are gonna. I'm digging this game. We are gonna revisit this once we get to early access. But if you wanted a quick look at what the game could be, we've got that. Once it releases into early access, we're definitely going to take another look to make sure the game is stable at that point. We're also going to hopefully have the ability to play against stronger AIs, which are, yeah, again, currently being trained with a neural network. So hopefully they'll be kind of beefy and scary at that point. We'll see how it goes. Look at this guy. He's worth 8 armor, so he defends you from everything. And the only thing he does when you play him is you draw a card, but that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.